Ayun. Magandang hapon, magandang umaga, magandang gabi. Salamat sa pag-join. Welcome to Daksdakan Episode 1. I think may problem pa ako in terms of webcam, pero okay lang yon mamaya na. While I try to figure it out later, uh, ano nga ba yung Daksdakan? So, I prepared a few slides. So, Daksdakan Episode 1, Dakdak is a Filipino verb, which means to talk nonstop. For all our foreign friends out there, if anyone did join, but I did keep repeating that this session will be Filipino English, probably 50-50, 50 Filipino, 50 English. And this is a meeting with Power BI Pilipinas members once every 2 weeks. Content or topics will be around Power BI updates, best practices, features, industry applications, maybe AMAs or Ask Me Anythings now and then, and whatever. Kung meron kayong gustong itanong regarding sa project na ginagawa nyo ngayon, we're kind of open to that as well. Hindi ko sure kung gumagana yung webcam ko. I just turned it on. Pero anyway, I'll figure that out later, as I've said. And we are live on Facebook. And we are also, if you want to join the conversation, you can join via Microsoft Teams. I did leave links in the Facebook Live itself. And then later, tomorrow, the other day, we will be archiving everything via YouTube and most likely via Spotify. Medyo titignan natin. Hindi pa tayo sure sa Spotify, pero if okay naman yon, this will be the start of the podcast. Also for Spotify or for YouTube and Spotify, if ever you want to request for redaction, kung meron kayong tinanong at hindi pala kayo comfy, gusto nyo mabura yung name nyo or may i-black out sa screen somewhere, feel free to request for it. We can do so. Para kumbaga yung live lang yung talagang all no holds barred, everything goes. And then for the YouTube, Spotify versions, we can always redact or censor out what we want to censor out. Okay? So about us, for those who are new, Power BI Pilipinas is an online community of more than 9,000 Power BI enthusiasts in the Philippines. We are everywhere on the web. We are on Facebook. We are on the Microsoft Fabric official communities. We are a LinkedIn group. We have a Discord channel. We have a YouTube channel. We have a TikTok channel din ba ang tawag. And if everything goes well nga, maybe we'll have a Spotify podcast as well. So yun, medyo kalat-kalat tayo. And YouTube TikTok has kind of taken a backseat. But yeah, anyway. That's for another day's discussion. Tapos quickly, mission and vision tayo to develop qualified Power BI developers in the Philippines by building a conducive learning environment via accessible development opportunities and various support groups. So hopefully, ito yung support group nga na yun. And accessible development opportunities are the many trainings or free trainings that we've had before. Medyo wala recently, but we do have them in YouTube channel. Anyway, tapos our vision is to be the best Power BI community in the Philippines, providing the friendliest network of members and the most talented pool of applicants for recruiters and clients. So in a way, our mission is pretty much building that skill set, and the vision is finding where you can actually earn money with that skill set. And mabilisan rin lang. Power BI Pilipinas updates. You know what? Teka. Check ko lang And anyone can unmute. Ay, oo nga pala. So it's showing up. Okay, that's nice. Teka, is it? Can anyone confirm? Nakikita nyo ba yung webcam ko sa Teams? Ngayon ko lang chinek actually. Lumalabas ba ako? Hindi ko alam kung Teams yung nakikita ko or OBS actually.
Yes, sir. Kita nga.
Okay. Thank you. Ayun, nakita ko na yung mga thumbs up. May delay, sorry. Pero thank you. Thanks, Richard. Kita pala ako. So, okay. Buti na lang di ako, wala akong ginawang, karumal-dumal. Anyway, PBI Pinas updates, real quick again. So, I want to actually take this opportunity during Daksdakan para to give everyone an update din. Ano ba nangyayari sa group? So, Daksdakan is a thing now, happening. Episode 1 tayo. So, yay! Thank you sa lahat ng nag-join. Thank you sa 27 na nag-join sa meeting. Recruit Day is a thing as well. So, all of the updates here, by the way, you can check it out via the PBI Pinas page. I think that's the easiest kasi doon yung kumaga walang distractions eh. Sa group, medyo marami pang nagpo-post. Pero if you're just interested in seeing the updates here, the PBI Pinas page, madali lang mag-scroll kasi konti lang yung na pinopost doon. Mga once a day lang naman yung posting doon eh. So, Recruit Day is a thing. Meron na tayong job board in collaboration with Recruit Day. That job board is just an Excel file in SharePoint at ang nangyayari lang doon or ang ginagawa lang doon is yung mga Recruit Day openings, kita nyo sila in a much cleaner manner. Kita nyo lahat ng mga positions na data professional related. Kita nyo, and ang pinaka-plus doon for me is in one look, kita nyo, is it work from home, hybrid, online? Is it, number 2, what are the work hours? Is it flexi shift? Is it night shift? Is it day shift? And number 3, most importantly, in one look, lahat nandoon na sa spreadsheet na yon, kita nyo na yung salary range. So whether yung salary range na yon is 2 digits, wala pa ng 2 digits, 5 digits, 6 digits, kita nyo lahat doon. And yun, yun kasi yung medyo challenge sa job market ngayon ng data professionals. The title business analyst can have a salary of 12,000 all the way to 120,000 and even more actually. So, kumbaga medyo masyadong broad kasi yung responsibilities. And it all depends on that. Responsibilities, yung client mo rin, syempre, mga budget, ganun. Pero, malaking tulong for me whenever someone is offering a role para malaman na upfront ano nga ba yung salary range na to kasi syempre unfair naman na bababa ka sa current salary mo. So, yun. Kaya, ni-request ko yung specific kay Recruit Day na pwede bang yung mga salary ranges pretty much transparent tayo. Tapos, road to 10K members tayo sa Facebook group. So, push. Hopefully, hopefully, pero yun, based on trajectory, mukhang will reach 10,000 members by end of the year. So, yay. And sa mga below the dotted line, mga future plans natin, Microsoft 365, E5 tenant, ano yun? So, to those who are not living under a rock, most likely you know na Microsoft 365 is the new name for Office 365. So, meron na po tayong sariling Power BI Pilipinas E5 tenant. E5 yung parang, nalimutan ko, mid-tier yata yun ng Office plans. So, courtesy of Microsoft. One of the perks being the official Power BI community in the Philippines. So, ano meron? Sa mga tawag doon, sa mga open for commissions, medyo mararamdaman nyo to pretty soon. So, the other day, I think nag-post ako sa community ng yung mga open for commissions, please fill out this form or please join this chat group first. Tapos sa chat group na yon, pina-fill out ko sila ng form. Hindi pa ako nagsisimula pero later in the day, tomorrow again, maybe the other day, ipapasok ko na yung mga names nila sa tenant. So, ang mangyayari doon, they'll have access to the SharePoint and they'll have access to the Power BI workspace. Ngayon, yung Power BI workspace ng E5 is 10 gigs lang yata. However, yung 10 gigs na yon, share na yon sa lahat ng mga open for commissions. Pin-prioritize ko sila kasi sila yung mga most likely either starting up, building their portfolio, or kung establishment sila, if wala silang sariling company and wala silang sariling tenant, wala silang paglalagyan ng mga tawag dito, PBI reports nila na pang portfolio. So, pwede nilang, although medyo dumadami na yung ganong free services ngayon, pero yun, kumbaga it's another alternative for people to put their Power BI reports in. And yun nga, we'll see na lang sa ngayon, this Teams meeting is brought to you by that same M365 tenant. So, we'll see na lang kung, and I'm totally open. Yung daksdakan natin, later on, hopefully hindi lang naman ako yung puros nagsasalita. And we are open to questions. We're open to suggestions, feedback. So, isa yon yung E5 tenant sa mga mas gamay ang Microsoft 365. Do tell if ano yung feeling nyo pwedeng magamit ng group. I think dati may nag-suggest na yun nga yung SharePoint. So, pwedeng magbato ng files doon pag may mga nagtatanong or jump kagad into a call, into a meeting. So, we'll see. Tapos, etong nasa lower middle, something that I want to what do you call that? I want to start or I want to have soon. Power BI Pinas Challenge. PBI Pinas Challenge. So to those familiar with challenges from Maven Analytics, Onyx Data, Enterprise DNA, yung mga gagawa kayo ng report, tapos may dataset ako yung bibigay. So exactly like that. Except that it's Pinoy only, it's Power BI only, but maybe I'll need some sponsors for the prizes. So yun lang yung mga kumbaga medyo everything's a blur. Pero if there's one group in the Philippines that can work with the data challenge, Power BI Pinas is one of those. So, medyo will target for that is Q4 this year. And magko-Q4 na, diba? Burn na tayo. And lastly, Power BI Pinas Meetup, same ideas. Yun yung mas, hindi naman siguro mas, pero same level of blurriness as yung PBI Pinas Challenge. So, no idea pa ako saan. Gusto ko sana sa Microsoft headquarters sa Ayala, Makati. Pero, I'm looking for contacts pa for that. Meron naman, na nag-resign na kasi yung dating contact daw rin niya sa Microsoft. So, medyo slightly grasping pa kami for support doon sa local meetup. And yun nga, if you have any ideas, malam mo, meron pala kayong hacienda, and sa tingin nyo, dito, pwede kayong mag-meet up dito, Tony. Then, no, why not? So, hindi ko pa nga pala pinakalala sarili ko. So, yeah, you can call me Tony. And yun, I am the founder of Power BI Pilipinas. Ayan lang. So, topic actual tayo. Best practice sharing for episode 1. And keyword is sharing so I'm not sure yon. Does anyone want to go first? Does anyone have anything to share? 31 tayo in the Teams meet right now. Pero yon, open to anyone na, and si Arman ang alam ko nagda-drive kanina, sinabihan na niya ako na may gusto siyang i-share, karang nagda-drive siya eh. Siyempre nalimutan ko yung gusto niya i-share. Teka, nasa phone yun. Pero while I'm checking out his message, feel free to share your best practices when working with Power BI. Bigyan nyo lang ako ng mga 1 minute sa pag-scroll up ko. Or you can go first. I don't know. Dane, are you ready?
Hello.
Yan. I can hear ya. Dane, musta? Ngayon lang kita nakita actually. Ngayon na tayo nag-video.
You can call me Dane, Daniel, Dave, Dale. Marami akong pangalan eh.
Oo nga.
So, share ko sa inyo ang screen ko. Window. Screen. Paano mag-share?
Carry lang.
There you go. Ito, may
Nice.
lang to eh.
Yay! Perfect.
Yep.
May slides din. Ayos.
Oh,
Good.
so, anyway, ito yung mga di-discuss ko. Maikli lang sila, but I'll give explanations and samples kung bakit ganito yung approach na ginagamit ko. Okay. So, let's start with avoid prefacing tables with fact or dim. Napapansin ko sa iba is mahilig silang maglagay ng fact or dim na word before sa table nila sa Power BI. So, sometimes a matter of preference, but kung nagta-type ka sa IntelliSense, for example, gagawa tayo ng measure. Okay. Gawa tayong dummy measure. Dummy. Tapos yung table kung may fact or dim, sum of fact So, ano nangyayari kasi marami kang pagpipilian. So, instead na magta-type ka kagad ng table mo, maghahanap ka pa sa banda, di ba?
Correct.
So, yep. And fact lang yung what if dim, kasi yung dim, gumawa ka ng mga, mga calculated tables na may nakalagay na dim. So, maghahanap ka alin doon yung kailangan mong column for your calculations. So, for me, I would avoid that. Siguro for a beginner, or nagsisimula pa lang, gusto nilang ganun kasi madalas nakikita sa mga explanations sa YouTube, may nakalagay na dim or fact, but you have to consider that's just for the explanation para malaman mo kung dimension table ba or fact table yung ginagalawan nila. But in actual practice, I would avoid that. Because ang gusto mo is pag nagta-type ka, madali mahanap yung kailangan mo. Hindi yung kailangan mag-type ng example D. Di pwede kasi marami. Di high, so marami din.
Oo nga.
So, kailangan mag-type ng kompleto. So, ano siya? Waste ka ng 3 keystrokes pag ganun.
Love it.
Okay?
Cutting edge. Cutting edge efficiency.
Yep.
Ano lang yun, no? Sayang 2 seconds.
Pero kung wala kang maragan, paano? Bahala ka kung gusto mo. Anyway, here's one thing I always do. Preface dash variables with an underscore. So, ano ibig sabihin ng, kung gagawa ka ng variable sa dash, lagyan mo lagi ng underscore. Bakit? You'll never know the future. Yung kinipe mong variable name, gagamitin pa lang function name. And you don't want that kasi ma-mess up yung calculation mo. Let me give you an example. Nakalagay yata ako. Naglagay ba ako? Ito. For example, ganito. Kung gagawa ko ng variable sa Dax, lalagyan ko lagi ng underscore. Why? Because it will be easier to call them. Nalabas ka agad, di ba? Instead, kung lalagay mo lang siya na start or end, maraming namalabas, oh. Di mo yung gugustuhin. So, kailangan, para mas madali yung pag-navigate mo, lagyan mo siya ng underscore. Yan ko na yan.
And dinoble mo pa, no? Double underscore.
Actually, for me na kasi ginagawa ko. So, kung next na lalagyan ko ng additional underscore. So, doble lang yan po. Tsaka future-proofing yan. For example, what if naglagay ako ng star? Tapos sa next update ni Power BI, meron ng star function. So, mangyayari ngayon, magkakaproblema ka kasi yung star is referring na sa star function. And you don't want that. So, for future-proofing, lagyan lagi ng underscore. Simple lang naman. Tsaka mas madaling i-access kung may underscore siya nakalagay.
Correct.
Okay.
And pag in alphabetical order yan, which is nasa side mo, nasa right side ng data pane, nasa taas yung mga underscore mo. So,
Yep.
kitang-kita mo, litaw.
Make use of measures table. Ito yung importante sa lahat kung mag-organize ng measure. If you're starting, okay lang, nasa same table. Pero pag nagtatrabaho ka na, it is possible to have more than 100 measure, 200, 300. Tapos hahanapin mo yun yung mga measure na yun sa table na pinaglagyan mo, mahirap yun. So, ang gagawin ko is, kasi itong mga ito is, measures table yan. So, to be able to make a measures table, pupunta lang ako ng enter data. Sinag out here. Okay. Ito, gawa natin ng any column kasi tatanggalin naman natin yung column na yan. And then, lagay natin measures table. Load. Wait natin mag-load. So, hanapin ko muna sa measures table. Measures Ito na siya. So this is just a dummy table. So ang gagawin natin next is maglalagay tayo ng measure. Kasi kung di-delete natin to, yung column 1, mangyayari is i-disable ni Power BI ang pag-load ng table. Automatically mawawala yung data model mo. So let's put a measure first, dummy measure, blank, ganyan. And delete the column. Once you delete the column, the table will be converted to a measures table. Tingnan nyo, nag-iba na yung icon niya. And mapupunta yan sa taas. So, mas madali silang hanapin. Okay. Another way to organize your measure is to make use of display folder. Ano yung display folder? Maghanap tayo.
In note pala dun sa measures table, ano na instinct na ni Dane eh. Pero kaya measures table yung name kasi you can't use the word measure yata as the name of the table, tama?
Oh, you can't use the word measure as the name of a measure too. So, hindi rin pwede. So, may mga words sa Power BI na reserve sila na hindi mo pwedeng gamitin.
System. Kasi baka magtaka kayo, gawa kayo ng measure, tapos nag-error. Kasi yun nga. You name it measure table, measures, underscore measure, mga ganun.
Kung gusto mo, for example, may mga arrangement ka ng measures table and gusto mo mauna siya, lagyan mo siya ng underscore sa taas, mauuna talaga siya. Or whatever is, kung mag-arrange tayo alphabetically in Excel, usually mauuna, yung nasa taas yun yung mauuna dito sa table natin. Next is, gagawa tayo ng display folder. Display folder is a folder within a table, and the display folder can be in any table. So madali yung paggawa ng display table, pero kailangan natin siyang gawin sa diagram or relationship view. Wala siya dito sa table or dito sa report view. So this is an example of a display folder within measures table kasi they all start with WIF, so why not put them in one folder? So paano ba ito gagawin? Punta tayo ng diagram view or relationship view. And then, hanapin natin yung measure na gusto nating ilipat sa isang folder. Itong mga measure ito na ilagay ko na sa WIF folder, but I want to move some of them to another folder. So, madali lang yan. Just have to select the measures that you want to move to another folder, and then sa display folder, lalagyan mo lang siya ng display folder name. So, for example, gagawin kong WIF2. Ayan, nailipat na siya sa WIF. Okay?
Love it.
And then, sa mga gumagamit ng virtual columns yan within Summarize or SumX or anything na involved in virtual. Ang pagkakaiba kasi ng virtual, para hindi tayo ma-confuse, virtual is within siya sa measure. You can access them within the measure na ginagawa mo. Ang physical kasi, makikita mo siya sa data view. For example, this is a physical column. So, mafi-filter mo siya, masusort mo siya. But for virtual columns, hindi mo siya makikita dito. So, but you can access them using virtual tables. So, hanap tayo ng example. Ito yung sinabi ko na kung gagawa ka ng virtual column in a virtual table, lagyan mo siya ng @ before sa virtual table name. Why? Kung lalagay mo siya net sales lang, and then net sales. So, medyo confusing na siya ngayon kasi meron kang net sales na measure, Tapos meron ka pang virtual column na net sales. So kung titingnan mo yung dalawa, hindi mo alam kung nasaan dyan yung virtual column o nasaan yung virtual table. So malilito ka. So lagyan mo siya ng at. The reason bakit at is because ginamit ko na yung underscore sa variable. So anything na pa-distinguish mo siya, it's a matter of practice lang. But for consistency, use the same symbol all throughout. So, variable ka, gusto mo ng tatanggapin ba ang underscore sa? Tatanggapin ba ang at sign sa variable? Mukhang hindi yata tatanggapin siya. So,
Hindi ko pa
underscore
natatry yun
talaga.
actually. Ngayon ko nga lang nalaman na pwede ang at sign eh.
Ay,
So,
tinanggap
poof.
ang at sign kasi nasa loob naman siya ng quotation mark eh.
Oo,
So,
as
it's
text.
text na
Oo.
siya.
Pero kumaga nice
But
idea.
I think, hindi tatanggapin sa variable.
Oo.
So, that's why underscore ang ginamit natin. Etong dax or m kasi is medyo ano to eh, tawag dito is medyo blurry to for some kasi dax can do something that m can and vice versa. So ito yung pipili ka, alin ba sa dalawa ang pipiliin mo, dax or m? As a general rule kasi, dax is for data modeling. So use dax for data modeling. M is for mashup, munching, whatsoever, data wrangling, data transformation. Anything that involves data transformation, ilagay mo sa M. General rule yan, exceptions to the rule, di palaging ganyan yung gagawin natin. And another example when it is to use M is, for example, transform na ako. Ito tayo ng customer wala ako. Head query. Itong PBX pa lang dito sa akin, dinownload ko lang tapos in-edit ko pinagagawa. Kung ano-ano. When to use M, again for simple calculations or transformation within the same row. Bakit within the same row? Is because when scanning of a table is involved na, mas mabilis si DAX dyan. Because DAX is designed for that. This is an example of when to use M. For example, we just want to get week plus month. So we have week plus month. Bakit ganyan naman po? Month sort. Ayan. So mga ganitong calculation, simple transformation, ibigay mo yan kay M. Mas mabilis si M dyan. Kasi pag anong nangyayari, pag niload mo to sa data model mo is mag-recompute ulit yan every time ka mag-refresh. So, but there is, and that's hindi yung proper term, but there is, mahirap siyang explain, but it is better to do this in M because it's going to make your data model faster, and this is just simple transformation. So, mas maganda nasa M tayo.
At ang
But,
M, remember na once lang siya naglo-load every time you refresh your report. Unlike sa DAX, every time you open a page, view the report, switch to another page, recompute yon, recalc ng recalc. So, dun tumutulong yung efficiency ng M.
yep. And, example, kung kailan gagamitin si DAX. Nasaan na yung sales table? So we have our sales table here, and we want to get the sales amount by date. Pwede naman natin ilagay sa visual, but gusto nating i-filter. Pwede natin gawin to sa DAX using table that group by, sa M using table that group by function, but DAX is going to be faster because DAX is designed to scan a table. DAX is faster at scanning a table than with M. Kasi sa M, nangyari is, babalikan niyo yung source, tapos, ayun, mag-recompute ulit siya within sa M engine, and medyo mabagal yan. Kung napapansin niyo, kung minsan pag nag-group by kayo, tapos malaki yung table, mas mabagal siyang gawin sa M. Unlike kung gagawa ka ng summarized table sa DAX, mas mabilis siyang i-calculate. So, gawa tayo ng calculated column. As an example, sales amount by date. Sorry. Amount, all except sales date. Yeah. So, pag mga ganitong calculations that involve scanning a table, ibigay natin kay DAX yan. Okay?
Ay, may question pala. May question sa chat. If you need to
Okay.
create dimension tables from a single fact table, which is better to use? M or DAX? Tapos wala pa siyang response pero hindi ko sure kung for filtering ba yung mga dimension tables. Pero creation ng tables pretty much around a single fact.
Gusto. Ako gagawin ko yan kay M eh. But, I mean, yes, kay M, but you have to know kung meron ka bang unique key in between para makonect mo silang dalawa.
And shy siya. So, hindi siya mag-unmute. Pero yun, gatong ako doon same. If possible, sa M. Ano yan eh, babalik tayo sa usapan ng calendar table dati. So, yung mga calendar tables, lots of ways to do them. Yung iba sa M, yung iba sa DAX, yung iba, baka sa SQL pa lang, gumagawa na. Pero, kumaga, depende sa'yo. Personally, kumaga, general consensus is, you create your calendar or your date table sa M. Kasi nga, one time, big time lang yun usually. Ang Power Query mo, chinecheck lang niya ano yung minimum date, ano yung maximum date, tapos gagawa na siya ng calendar table. Tapos dun ka na magre-reference, tuloy-tuloy. Pero personally, I tend to use DAX sa mga calendar tables ko. Ay, ikaw rin.
Same.
So,
kasi
yun,
mas
bakit?
madali siyang gawin sa DAX.
Yeah.
Kung gagawin ko siya sa M and I want it dynamic,
Babalik
pwede
ka
naman
pa.
siyang dynamic, but kailangan kong mag-refer sa ibang table which is going to be slow. For example, kung gusto ko yung start date ko sa calendar table sa M is yung minimum date dun sa fact table ko sa M, pwede mabagal yun. Kasi kailangan ko pang i-compute sa M kung ano yung minimum table. So mas madali. Except na lang kung sa M is meron ka specific start date, hard-coded, or parameterized, then mas mabilis sa M doon pagka ganun. And one thing is kung bakit preferred ko ang DAX is yun nga, mas madali siyang i-dynamic and then mas madali siyang i-copy-paste para sa akin. Although I can copy-paste M, but mas ano kasi si DAX mas intelligent ang intelligence niya, mas madali siyang navigate.
Yeah.
Compared mo kay M. And you know yung M, kung minsan pag nag-type ka ng text dot something and you nagka-tab ka, instead of replace na yung text na word is dinudugtungan niya. And, so syempre, additional task yun sa'yo.
Backspace.
Backspace. Or hindi ka nang gagamit ng dot. So it's a matter of practice kasi. Pwede naman text replace and lalabas naman yung text that replace na function. Tapos replace niya automatically. Pero kung gumamit ka ng dot, dinudugtong niya lang kaagad eh. So, backspace ka talaga.
Correct. And dagdag ko, another reason why I use DAX for calendar tables kasi new columns sa calendar table. Minsan biglang, kailangan ko pala ng quarterly breakdown. Kailangan ko pala ng week na ganito yung setup na ganitong specific format ng week ang gusto ko sa calendar table ko. So, ang dali-dali.
Mahirap yan
sa M.
Medyo complicated gawin yan sa M pagka ganyan.
Oo. So, yung mga ganon, mga kaartehang dates na breakdown. Pero to answer, so, I hope we answered your question. Sobrang shy kasi siya si 4373. Para tayo nakipag-usap sa robot nga eh. Pero I hope medyo naliwanagan ka. So I guess final answer is as much as possible, tulad ng sinabi ni Dame, M. Pero there will be some exceptions. Especially yun nga, dynamic kailangan mo agile yung table mo na dinadagdagan mo ng column, bigla-bigla, mga ganon.
O kasi pag malaki yung dataset mo tapos kagawin mo sa mag-refresh ka. Lahat-lahat yun. You don't want that to happen.
Correct.
So yun yung disadvantage. Pag ginawa mo sa M, na-load mo na, malaki yung dataset mo, tapos may nakalimutan ka pala. So, babalik ka sa M, load mo ulit, maghihintay ka ulit. Kaya, kung minsan, it's better to do it in DAX. Pero pag may time ka, ayusin mo na lang, balikan mo na sa M. And siya nga pala, when you work with M, you don't want to load the whole table sa M. You want just a subset of your data while you're creating a data model. Because if you expose or you import the whole of your data, napakalaki niyan. Ano yun eh? Kung sa trabaho, maghihintay ka sa loading time niya. And syempre, mag-visit ka na, nakakahintay, tapos mag-error. Unlike kung ready na lahat, pag-filter ka na lang kung anong gagamitin mong date, kailan ka magsisimula, then, mas madali siya. Per case-to-case basis yan, di yan palaging ganyan. Kasi kung minsan, nag-filter ka, maganda yung data eh. Tapos nung tinanggal mo yung filter sa date, marami palang mga mali-mali doon and you need to do a lot of cleansing.
Correct.
So, yung mga ganong practice, it's a matter of use case kumbaga kasi hindi siya one size fits all.
Correct. And it'll take experience para kumbaga magkaroon kayo ng style, nagamay ninyo, malay nyo, kayo yung isa sa, or karamihan ng tao na sa Power Query nagde-date table, and that's perfectly fine. Kumbaga, we have our, ano talaga, our groove. Meron,
At saka, general practice lang naman yun eh. So, there are always exceptions to the rule. Minsan may exception that's exception. And that is especially true kung wala kang access sa M, binigay lang sa'yo yung report. And the report is, you don't need to refresh it, but you have to make sense of the report. So, gagawa ka ng calculated tables, gagawa ka ng measures without needing to update the data source. Kasi wala ka ng access sa data source eh. So, pag mga ganong case, syempre hindi ka pwede gumamit ng M for pulling and for transforming the existing table sa data model mo. So, balik ka sa DAX.
True.
So, push everything na pwede mo i-push sa M. Kung pwede pa nga i-push mo sa server, mas maganda. That is mo SQL yung gamit mo. Kung mga flat files yan, it won't make sense naman. Kasi wala ka naman ipupush sa server. So, lahat yun gagawin in memory. So, gagamitin yung memory ng laptop mo, ng device mo.
Correct. And may nagtanong ulit, and I'm not sure if you want to take this. Sabihin mo lang, Dane, if you want to take this question. Can you please enlighten me? Last na to for Dane, tapos sasaluhin ko na iba. Can you please enlighten me more on difference between using a measure versus inserting a column?
O pwede yan. Kung wala silang relationship, you can do that. Power BI is very flexible to do that.
Sorry, alin yung binasa mo? Yung kay Allen or yung kay Richard? Dalawa na kasi.
Kay Allen.
Sige. Kay Allen muna. Ako na lang yung kay Richard. Sige, mamaya. Kay Allen na lang isa kasi tungkol sa DIM eh.
Nabasa niyo ba yung question para hindi ko na ulitin?
Hindi, sige, ulitin natin kasi pang podcast nga eh, di ba? Yes.
Sige. DIM branch and DIM city, lahat po sila naka-relation siya, fact table. Naka-star schema, table, at I want to count total branch per city, gagamitin ko yung to DIM. Kaso wala silang relationship. Wait. Sabi mo may relationship sa fact table pero wala silang relationship. Yung dalawang two-dimension tables, yun yung ibig sabihin. Tama ba? I think that's what he means. Pwede po yan Power BI, yung 2DIM di pa ma-filter. Ito lang yung idea ko dyan is, pwede siyang i-calculate. Pwede siya. But not because pwede siya, it's a good practice. Hindi ko alam kung anong itsura ng data mo eh. So sinasabi ko lang, Power BI is very flexible to do whatever you think it can do. Yun nga lang, just because you can do it, ibig sabihin gagawin mo siya kasi pwedeng mag-cause siya ng slowdown sa model mo. So, yun yung mga best practice natin, di ba? Just because you can do it, you should do it. So, kailangan tayong maghanap ng ibang paraan para mas mapabilis. Yeah. So, kung mga maliliit lang na table, okay yan. Pero kung malakihan na, you have millions of data, of raw data, and then you have so many tables, then it's a case-to-case basis. So, it's a matter of possibility, a balance of possibly doing that, and performance. Okay na ba tayo dyan? Kasi mahirap
sorry.
siyang sagutin without seeing the actual data. Eh. So, imagination ko lang yung ginamit.
Ang ini-imagine ko sa tanong ni Allen, meron tayong fact table sa gitna. Sabihin natin sales para madali. May sales table ka sa gitna, tapos left side mo branch, right side mo city. So medyo ang dapat na structure mo sana is city, tapos branch, tapos sales. Kasi mas malaki si city, 'di ba? Within cities may marami kang branches. So dapat hindi sila parehas nakadikit sa sales. Yung city mo ang dapat nakadikit kay branch, si branch mo ang nakadikit kay sales ang ini-imagine ko. Pero Allen, di ako sure kung tama yung ini-imagine kasi yun nga medyo mahirap pero using the power of imagination, dapat
Ayun,
ayun,
natatama ka lang.
napakahusay ko talaga mag-imagine. Pero yun, so ang aayusin mo dun is relationship. That said, so na-connect mo si branch at si city papunta kay sales. So I assume meron kang ID of some sort. So yung ID na yon, baklasin mo kay baklasin mo yung relationship kay city and sales. Si city ibigay mo kay branch. Sila yung pag-connectin mo. Tapos yun na. Makakapag-hierarchy ka na doon. City magka-calculate ng sales. Tapos papasok ka kay branch, makakalculate rin niya yung sales. And yun. It will make your life easier.
So, sineperate niya si city and branch
oo.
na table.
Dalawang tables. Pero parehas na ako connect niya kay sales eh. So, ibig sabihin, makakonect mo rin dapat yung dalawang tables na yun.
Yep.
So,
kasi wala naman sigurong branch and then dalawa yung city niya, no? So, one branch, one city lang dapat tayo.
Ay, oo. Sana
kasi kung ganun, medyo complicated na yan.
Correct.
One branch, one city.
Ayos. Okay na rin daw si Allen. Thanks. Sige, Dane, you can proceed.
Ito na yung...
And thank you rin kay
Dane. Ayun.
Last na.
Use cloud storage to save your files. Bakit use cloud storage? Kasi si Power BI, pag nag-crash yan, yung masasave nila is yung query, tsaka yung measures. Pero kailangan mong i-load silang lahat. So that will take time to load. Unlike kung lalagay mo siya sa, or yung other option is, pwede kang mag-save as ng version mo, which is pretty time consuming. Unlike kung lalagay mo siya sa cloud storage, automatic magsisync siya sa cloud and gagawa siya ng version. Yan akong example. Ito personal, lang to eh. Personal OneDrive. Meron siyang version history. And then, nakikita niyo ba yung version history?
Yep, lumalabas.
Yep.
Hindi ko alam na may ganyan.
Meron ganyan. Kahit Google Drive meron ito. So, kung maghahanap ka ng version mo kasi accidentally na-save mo yung maling version, pwede mo siyang balikan. So, it's always a good practice to use cloud storage. At saka kung kung may mangyari sa laptop mo or sa device mo, makorrupt siya, at least meron kang backup sa cloud. Hindi ka mo problema, mag-install ka na ulit ng program mo, ng apps. Okay?
Hindi ko alam yan right click
may nakalimutan akong ipakita. Hindi ko nalagay sa slides ko, but this is a good practice. Balik tayo dun sa eto. Alin yung mas madaling basahin? Ito o ito? Kasi yung iba napapansin ko gagawa sila ng measure tapos isang line lahat. Mahirap basahin sa totoo lang. Tapos kung maglalagay ka sa chat isang line lahat, kailangan ko siyang i-beautify para mas madali siyang intindihin. So as a good practice, beautify your formula. Your formula. Hindi ako nag-beautify nito. Natamad ako eh. Ang ginagawa ko lang dyan is kokopyahin ko siya. Punta ako ng DAX formatter. Tapos, i-paste ko sa dyan. Ayan. Ayan na. Beautified na siya.
Amazing.
And then, kung may syntax problem ka, in most cases, sasabihin niya may syntax problem ka somewhere in that row. Pero hindi niya sasabihin yung correction. So, it will give you an idea to kung saan ka nagkamali. And merong external tools within RBI that you can use. Nasaan ba yung ito? DAX formatter. Itong mga external tools na to galing na to kay powerbi.tips eh.
My gosh.
So yung tawag sa installer niya is Business Ops. And then from that Business Ops you get to choose which apps you want to install.
Punong-puno.
Yeah, punong-puno. Pinili ko lang pero actually hindi ko naman halos nagagamit lahat eh. Kahit nga itong DAX formatter dun pa ako sa web. ang maganda kasi dito is kung hindi mo na format yung measure mo, lahat, hindi mo kailangang balikan isa-isa. You can use this, I think meron DAX beautifier dito eh. So, kung wala, hindi ko na-install. You can use this DAX formatter to format all your measures within your model. So hindi mo na kasi kailangang i-click, tingnan nyo isa, copy-paste one by one, lagay sa DAX formatter. So, siya nang bahala mag-format. But kung iisa lang naman, hindi ko na siya gagawin. Pupunta lang ako ng DAX formatter. Okay?
Thank you very much. Tama.
Thank you.
And may nag-comment rin sa Facebook Live. Thank you, Archie. Dax.guide. Yeah. Another nice resource. Pang ano yata yun?
Dax.do eh.
More on functions yata yun, di ba?
Yep. Ang problema ko lang puminsan ko sa documentation is nakukulangan ako. Masyado siyang jargon for a beginner. Pansin niyo kung pupunta kayo ng Microsoft na documentation for DAX and then Power Query. Medyo jargon siya for a beginner. Medyo mahirap siyang intindihin. It took me some time before sila naintindihan kasi yung example na binibigay nila doon is you have to copy the code, lagay mo yun sa Power Query and then inspect mo siya. So it takes a lot of imagination. Di naman a lot, but it takes some kind of imagination to be able to visualize kung ano yung documentation nakalagay dun sa Power Query or DAX ba. And mas maganda na you have your own sample file, then it's easier to figure out. Pero aside kasi nila, medyo mahirap yata maglagay na ng sample file eh. Tapos the download part to inspect. But mas maganda kung mayroong sample file, mas madali siyang intindihin kumpara sa documentation lang. Kung minsan yung documentation is kulang-kulang, and there are some functions na wala silang documentation. So, it's a matter of experience na lang and trial and error.
Correct. And lots of Google searching and ChatGPT prompting.
Yep. With ChatGPT and usually kung merong ibang programming language.
Nga pala, teka, Lens, hindi ko alam kung sinadya mo pero naka-on video mo. Wala lang. Sinasabi ko lang. Pero hi, Lens.
Ayun, naka-on siya. Naka-on talaga.
Or may tanong ka, Lens. Oh. Pero okay. Ayun lang naman. Baka lang kasi natakot ako. Baka magsi-CR eh. Ayan. Ayun.
Nakaharap naman sa taas.
Kaya nabahan ako baka naiwan. Sabay tinapat sa inidoro eh. Anyway, sige Dane, tama. So, yung it takes yun nga, it takes yung kasanayan mo, yung experience, and yun, you'll get more accustomed. Maraming, kumbaga, I know a lot of people here medyo sanay na sa Power BI, pero it's, for me kasi as a newbie, it's not the most intuitive tool pa rin. And kumbaga, Dane, ako, and a lot of people here, mga ano na lang kami, kumbaga nag-adapt na kami. Saan hahanapin yung ganito, yung ganyan, ano yung gagawin sa ganito and sa ganyan. And it's kaya maganda yung I always say na pag dumaan ka na sa kumbaga mga makikita mo sa YouTube, makikita mo sa PL300 or sorry sa Microsoft Learn, join the data challenges. Iba pa rin or kahit don't join them for your or don't join them with you designing your own. Hanap ka ng isang report na nagandahan ka, try mo basta sure ka na Power BI yun then try mo kopyahin. Kasi yung i-build mo yung exact same report with the exact same data, it will walk you through yung mga, paano niya nagawa tong calculation na to, paano niya nagawa tong visual na to, and that experience itself will teach you a lot.
Yun yung ginagawa ko eh.
Yeah.
Kailangan ko ng inspiration, maghahanap ako ng reports.
Correct.
Especially kung di ko alam kung nakalagay ko sa report eh. Kasi may mga ganung moment, you don't know what to place there. And tapos yung stakeholder mo sabi niya, gawa ka lang ng report. Tapos, what do you wanna see? Yun yung problema.
Correct. And, ayan, bago tayo mag-move sa question ni Michael, question ni Richard was, can you please enlighten me more on difference ng measure versus inserting a column? So in my case, measure ako as much as possible kasi mas magagaan yung mga measures eh. Mas mabilis sila in terms of engine. Ang problem ko with column is hindi siya na-filter or na-slice. If you're working with slicers na nasa ibang table, kunwari, hindi nagagalaw yung column mo. Ang silbi ni column, kapareha siya ni Power Query. Magka-calculate yan once upon report refresh and then static na yan. Parte na siya ng table mo, ganun na. Unlike si measure na pwede kang maggalaw ng iba't ibang slicers na galing sa related tables na magkakalayo, pwede nilang ma-affect yung measure mo. So that said, as much as possible, sa measure ako nakasalali. Pag hindi ko siya magawa as a measure, dun lang ako pumupunta sa column. Pero yun, Dane, may input ka ba?
Pagkakaiba kasi ng measure is measure versus calculate column. Column itself, mag-occupy siya ng storage sa data mo.
Yun pa.
Unlike kung magagaling siya sa, if I'm not mistaken, unlike kung magagaling siya sa Power Query, hindi ganun ka-optimize ang calculated column index to minimize the data size. So, mas malaki yung magiging size ng data pag ginawa mo siya as a calculated column versus sa ginawa mo siya sa M. Kumbaga, mas efficient ang compression kung ginawa mo siya sa M than when you do it in DAX.
Mm-hmm.
And measure can be very flexible naman kasi. And they don't occupy as much space, or they will occupy some memory, but mawawala naman kagad yung memory niya. May-release naman kagad niya. And they will not occupy that big of a space sa data model mo. So, that's the advantage of a measure. At saka isa pa, you can use measure to return calculations dynamically. So, for example, you have summarized table and you want to create a summary of different calculations inside the measure and then filter mo siya depende sa column na gagamitin mo. Kasi pag ginawa mo yun sa calculated column, ano siya physical na siya So, hindi siya magiging dynamic. And yun pa is yun na.
Pero yeah, agree totally. Yung agileness. Agility pala. Agileness.
But be careful lang sometimes not to overuse some measures kasi they tend to be very slow. Usually, pag ginamit mo sila on top, for example, you have some X, and then you have some X. Why use a lot of some X's when you can simplify your formula, diba? Kasi, why? Because some X is cool usually for a beginner. Kasi, nagawa ko some X. Pero pag na-realize mo na bakit hindi na-download yung visual ko? Ayun, ang dami mo ginawang SumX on top of SumX on top of SumX. So, simplify yung measure. Huwag masyadong magpadala sa pagka-cool ng measure. And use them when they are needed, not because you think they're cool.
Correct. Minimalist dapat tayo. Correct. Yan, marami pang mga tanong actually. Michael Movida asks, as experts, what is your favorite data source when creating reports? SQL, SharePoint, Excel. Sa akin, yung mga SQL, may tawag sa kanila, nalimutan ko ang tawag.
Relational database.
Ayun, relational database says. Kasi, makakapag-query fold ka. Yun yung parang pinaka-important or pinaka-useful kasi sa akin eh. What's query folding? Query folding is, meron kang Power BI report na gusto mo gumawa ng Power BI report for 2023 lang. Pero yung data ng SQL, all the way to 2012, meron siya. Or 2000 na lang, year 2000. So, imagine 23 years worth of data. And kung hindi siya SQL, kung Excel siya na nasa SharePoint, hahatakin mo lahat yon papasok sa Power BI report yon mo. So, ang laki-laki. Sa SQL, yung query folding is it can utilize SQL, i-query na niya yon na 2023 data lang yung ipapasok natin sa Power Query. Excuse me. And then from Power Query, pwede ka pang mag-transform ng whatever you need to do. So, for me yon, pero sa totoo lang kasi, if you're working in corporate, kung ano yung dataset nila, yun yung gagamitin mo. Wala silang SQL. SharePoint and Excel sila. So, doon ka. Ding?
Yep. Ako din SQL eh. Kasi, pag SQL, pwedeng ako mag-query folding. And, unlike kasi, for example, 23 years worth of data, you have one CSV file, 23 years worth of data. Ang mangyari kasi dyan, i-query yan ni Power Query the whole of your data. And then, filter ka to 2023, ka-consume yung memory. Unlike kasi kung SQL is, whatever it is that you need, ibibigay niya sa'yo. Yun lang yung kailangan mo. Pag for example, CSV, ibibigay niya lahat sa'yo, tapos ikaw na bahala mag-filter dyan kung anong gusto mo i-load sa data model mo. Pero medyo matagal yan. So imagine you have to do that when, kumbaga, you have what you can accomplish with SQL one time, you have to do it 23 times with CSV. So, mga ganong scenario.
Correct. And Mark Legrande Jesus asks, si Mark nga pala, mas makikilala nyo siya next week kasi nag-volunteer siya na may ipepresent siya next week eh. Maraming salamat, Mark. Pero he asks, good morning nga pala sa'yo, Mark. Mag-veer away lang ako sa current topic.
Morning,
How do
sir.
we... Yeah? So, thank you din. How do we command Power BI to not automatically convert dates from SharePoint list to UTC? So dates, basta dates from this to UTC. Automatically nagma-8 kasi nga plus 800 tayo sa Philippines eh. Dane, you want to share?
Merong API sa PowerPoint. Alam kung ano ba to kasi medyo private yung PowerPoint ko eh.
Hindi.
So, ganito
May
na
ano
lang.
ka rin dyan. Sige, may ginugoogle din ako eh. Nakita ko na yan eh.
Merong API, usually kasi by default, yung API sa SharePoint is API 15, which automatically converts your time zone to UTC instead of kung anong time zone mo dapat or anong time zone nandun sa SharePoint. Merong API 14, meron ka dyang option I can see your screen. Meron kang inaano.
So, ayun. Ito lang yung
Ayan.
kailangan mo, Mark. Pero tama, API, yung pinakamadali. Kasi, ang problema kasi nag-UTC, madali lang mag-change to Philippine time eh. Easy lang yun, mag-minus ka lang ng 8 oras eh. The challenge happens when you want to use yung mga US na time zones kasi may DST sila eh. So, ito yung solusyon.
Yep.
YouTube mo lang to, 7-minute video. It will teach you how to... Ang problem dito pala, single cell. Kasi ginamit ko to specific for refresh timestamp eh. Yung refresh timestamp ko, pang Eastern time ko sana gusto. Tapos yun, nag-UTC siya. By default nga pala yun. For everyone's info, pag nasa service na yung report mo, UTC talaga yung gagamitin yung time zone. So, para mag-iba ka, if single cell, sobrang dali using this method. If hindi naman, you cannot, ang alam ko you can't adjust the time zone of service eh. UTC siya based talaga. Ang gagawin mo, data mo, mag-a-add ka. So, sa desktop mo, magmumukhang
Okay.
weird yung data mo, pero pag pinublish mo na, okay na ang buhay. So, it's either mano-mano, mag plus 8 ka sa time mo, or you can use this, yung API. And yun,
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Try to venture to this one. But for sharing din, sir, what I'm currently using as a Band-Aid solution is I add 1 day na lang sa date. I add 1 day or I add 8 hours.
8 hours, oo. Kinabahan ako. Kasi yung 1 day, malaki yun. Magiging plus 24 ka. So, kung 8 hours, yeah. That actually works really well.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thanks, din.
Pag ganyang approach, medyo mahirap yan pag marami kang columns and you want to get yung date timestamp mismo sa column na yan dun sa SharePoint. Medyo mahirap yung ganyang approach. Okay lang siya kung one column, convert mo siya to another time zone. Or if you have the time and patience to convert every date time column sa data source mo, then you can use that as well. Sa akin, nasubukan ko is I selected API 14, which will return the time zone, kung anong time zone na naka-display doon sa SharePoint. So sa SharePoint, kung magko-connect ka, meron kasi siyang options somewhere sa advanced option, yung pipiliin mo yung API 14, and then you connect to a folder in SharePoint, ilalabas na yung time zone na nandun sa SharePoint folder mo.
Correct. So yeah, thank you sa question, Mark. May mga questions from Earl. Hi, ask ko na lang pahabol. May mga companies ba na nag-hire na hindi marunong mag-Power BI pero marunong naman mag-advanced Excel? So pag sinabing advanced, ano na to? Visual Basic na ba to? Mga macro. Pero for me, oo. Kasi hindi naman lahat naka-Power BI and marami pa rin naka-Excel up to this day. And therein
Power
lies the
Query.
opportunity. Ayan, Power Query tama is inside Excel. So, and therein lies the opportunity na if natuto ka mag-Power BI, Excel ka galing, maybe yun yung magiging major project mo. Kumaga, capstone project ang tawag doon. Legacy yun. Kung mapapa-approve mo na, I'll convert all of your Excel reports into into Power BI. And you need to give me a team and I need to build a team and you need to give me more money. Ganun. Pero, yeah. Meron pa rin naman.
For old school DAs naman kasi nagsisimula halos lahat sa Excel.
Yeah.
Nung nagsimula ako, walang mga cloud sources. Ang alam ko ng cloud ng Salesforce Because there was no way to connect this source to this source para ma-automate mo yung process mo. So, ginagawa namin natin, mag-export kami ng data from Salesforce. Tapos, ayun, manual sa Excel.
Correct. Connect.
Nahasa yung Excel skills kasi wala kang ibang choice Excel lang talaga.
Kami nun, parang network drive ba yun? Parang sinishare drive. Yun yung mas old school pa yun kaysa sa Salesforce So, as in drive sa isang naka-on na computer somewhere. Tapos, para siyang on-prem ang nangyayari doon. Tapos yun, nagtatap kami ng mga files doon sa PC na yun kasi naka-network yung PC. Tapos, hindi ko alam kasi sa mga school, I assume Excel pa rin yung parang pinaka-primary na tinuturo kasi siya yung pinaka-flexible na
Hindi
data
kami
analytics.
tinuruan ng Excel dati.
Yeah, well, kami rin naman. Hindi. Natutunan ko yun sa job na. Correct. YouTube na yun. Sa school, hindi ako dumaan sa Excel. Pero baka naman matanda lang ako.
First DA job ko nga simple Excel questions na binigay sa akin. Tapos, di ko alam paano ako nakapasa.
Well, look at you now. So, tama yung ang galing nung nag-hire sa'yo nun, Dane, na naramdaman
Di ako
niya.
nagtagal doon. Doon ang tawag dito, long hours.
Kaya
Typically sa mga ganyang, may ibang company, long hours sila
Yeah, that's
walang
unfortunately common.
Work-life balance was not very well known back then. So,
pero good for you na umalis ka. So yun medyo yun, magandang, na yun subtle tip na yun. If you're working like what, 12-hour shifts every day, 5 days a week?
O, mas sobra pa dyan.
Oh, hindi. Kumbaga, even at 12, 12 na daily to, kung consistent na 12 ka, medyo hindi na rin makatarungan yun. And yun nga, yung sobra mo is, what, 16?
Tapos weekends pa. Uwi ako ng
Oh,
bahay,
may mga
madaling
ganun pa.
araw na. May mga ganun. May mga ganun.
Correct. So, kumbaga, pwede mong itry yun ng mga tipong ilang linggo, 1 month, ganyan. Pero kumbaga, know your limits, know your
Yep.
worth. Diba? Huwag kayong magpapaalipin. Kasi pag nagpaalipin ka, chain reaction yan eh. Magpapaalipin na din yung ibang kasunod mo. Magpapaalipin din yung mga nasa paligid mo. So,
But it was a good training.
all yeah.
And nakasayang sa skills ko doon kasi hardcore Excel lahat.
Yeah.
Walang
yeah.
choice kahit BBA kailangan matutunan eh.
Ayun, correct. So yun. So sagot kay Earl is, yeah, for sure meron pa yan. Hindi naman lahat naka-PBI eh. And if advanced ka sa Excel, then you're kinda telling me na kaya mong matuto ng Power BI. Kasi andun ka na eh, malapit ka na. DAX is Excel, pretty much. So, moving on to Den C's question. Good morning. Question po. Magpa-Power BI ang company namin. As a developer, nasanay ako sa Dev QA Prod. Parang ano to? Dev Test Prod system. So, software engineering type. So, ask ko lang, if required ba na gawin ko sa Power BI namin yung deployment pipeline since data sources namin ay galing sa Dev QA Prod ng ERP din. Deployment pipeline is a premium feature yata. Correct me if I'm wrong. So, if you have the money, then why not? Para sa akin kasi, importante pag change management na to eh. You're coming from one tool to another. Importante sa akin na hindi malito yung mga tao sa proseso, sa bagong process dahil nagbago ka ng tool. And if yung current process mo is may Dev QA Prod ka na, then for me, mag-Dev QA Prod ka na rin for Power BI. That gives you the leverage then to ask for a premium workspace so that you can get the premium feature of the deployment pipeline. Pero kung wala pala kayong budget, then automatic mamamatay yung yung pipeline nyo na gano'n, syempre. And Dane, tama ba? Premium nga ba yun? Yun yung alala ko eh. Hindi ko alam kung nagbago na ngayon. Pero dati premium for sure.
Parang hindi na siya premium ngayon.
Nag-deploy, generally available na. So good, in
Kasi
that case.
para siyang report builder na it used to be premium tapos ngayon is pwede na sa
Ah.
pro. Pwede ako gumagamit na eh.
Oh, yun. So, okay. So,
Para lang siyang parameters.
medyo, pero ano siya, more on
Parameters.
process siya. So, kung ang process nila is yun, meron, yung mga may dev space ka nga, na kayo lang, mga dev, nagte-testing kayo doon. Pinaka-useful siya sa, sa scenario, sa environment na ayaw mong mawasak yung prod mo dahil may nagkamali, dahil nakalimutan mag-semicolon somewhere, mga ganon. And if current process yun, then for me, go the deployment pipeline route. Then si 4373 nag-message ng ng calculated columns versus measures. Thank you very much. Ay, hindi ako naka-share screen. Share natin tong screen ko. Nalito ako kung nasaan yung Teams ko. Sorry na lang pag in-upload ko to sa Spotify, walang ganito. Pero hindi share yung napindot ko. Nalilito na ako, sorry. Hindi rin dyan. Alam ko na, nag-minimize yata ako. Ito pala, share, sorry. Share! There. So ngayon, paano naman ako pupunta dun sa chat natin? Ayun. So confusing. Okay. So yes, thank you very much. Ginagawa ko to for FB Live, pero sa YouTube, kaya ko naman isingit tong tong graphic na to. Anyway, maraming salamat 4373. So, actually, we're past our 1 hour limit, pero may hinanda ako eh. So, wala na. share ko na. Hindi naman ako naka-slide. So, nag-one up si Dane actually sa i-share na best practice. Kasi we're talking about best practices rin lang. So, why not?
Share mo na lang.
Yeah. So, why not talk about the best practice analyzer inside Tabular Editor? Napag-usapan ng Tabular Editor, or napag-usapan ng external tools kanina eh. So, si Tabular Editor is one of the more useful ones. Marami kayong pwedeng gawin sa kanya actually. Pwede kayo, I use it to create yung display folders na sinasabi ni Dane kanina. So, may measure folder ako dito ang alam ko eh. Ay, wala, nakakahiya. So, wala akong measure folder dito kasi nga maliit to. Ito pa rin, again, yung favorite kong dinedemo kasi maliit yung data na pizza sales. So, kunwari meron akong ganyang measure, gusto kong nasa loob siya ng display folder na sinasabi. So, kunwari, wala nga akong measure man lang eh. Gawa na lang ako dito sa pizzas. Create new. Ay, pwede ba akong mag-create new folder? Actually, hindi ko pala sure. Create new folder? Ayan. Create new display folder. So, pwede tayong gumawa ng display folder here for, sorry, kakancel ko kasi na-display folder ko yung column. A mistake. You can drag it out at ilagay dyan. Or sorry, can I? There, I can. So, tanggal. So, nasaan na yung measure ko kanina? Pizza types? No? Orders? There. Ay, hindi. Time yan. Sorry, column yan. Is sales a measure? Nalito. Ay, teka. May measure folder ako. Ayun, ito pala. Sorry. So, yan. May measure folder pala ako. So, let's say gusto kong gumawa ng display folders. As of now, measure folder looks like so. So, measures lang. So, yung measure folder ko, gusto ko, kunwari, magkaroon ako ng rank measure. Create new display folder. Measure. Rank. So, pag ginawa ko yan, all I need to do is hit save or Control S. And, look, ayan na, may rank na ako. Tada, pizza rank. So, tabular editor. Maraming salamat. Ano pa ba yung isa? May binanggit pa si Dane na naisip ko na I can do that in tabular editor. Yung DAX formatting, yeah. Although may simple lang yung akin eh. Ay, hindi, sige, ito. Sirain natin. Yan. Ganyanin natin. Isang linya lang kunwari. Tapos gusto kong yun nga, naka-format siya. So, meron kang format DAX and you have two options at that. You can use the, you can use the long line format or the short line format. Long line looks like this. Long line is that. Nag-add lang siya ng spaces. And then short line is yung mga may line break, si short line. Yan, yung kanina. So, DAX formatter again, to the rescue. Pero ang gusto ko talagang i-mention is yung power ng advanced scripting. Or siguro hindi lahat, pero specific lang tayo dito sa best practices. And for that, I actually need support. When I say support, I need the power of a website, best practice analyzer. Kasi binookmark ko na naman yun. Hala, nawawala. Best practice analyzer. Ayun. So, binookmark ko naman to, copy, and I'll paste it in chat. Kailangan ko palang maalala na ilagay lahat to sa YouTube description. So, best practice rules and medyo more on DAX related or hindi rin pala. Sorry, may formatting related rin. Pero to those who have been with PBI Pinas for quite a while, alam nyo na dati nabanggit ko yung divide function. Use that instead of the / for dividing your columns or your measures, I mean. And marami pang iba. So, meron rin siyang mga ganito about relationships, columns, about the architecture itself. Ayan yung mga best practice na pwedeng ma-spot ni Best Practice Analyzer. So, how do you even get started? First, you need to download and install Tabular Editor. And I'm just gonna go through the directions here kasi ito rin naman yung gagawin nyo. I assume we don't really have the time to go through this and for me to wait for you anyway. So once you have Tabular Editor, version 2, I'd like to highlight version 2 kasi dalawang versions ang madadownload nyo sa tabulareditor.com. Version 2 is the free one. Version 3 is the paid one. Version 3 has so many more features. Kasama doon yung IntelliSense. Super useful. Pero for what version 2 is, sobrang useful na niya. Yun nga, pinakita ko, andun na yung DAX formatter mo, andun na yung mga display folder. You can literally edit your measures here. Mas mabilis kasi mag-edit ka sa Power BI. So, kumbaga, once nasanay kayo sa Tabular Editor, mas bibilis rin yung workflow niya. So, pasok tayo dito sa upper right corner. Meron kang expression editor, which is yung kanina, tapos may tab ka for advanced scripting. Paste mo lang yung script na yung script na binigay naman niya. So, pagka-paste ko dito, run mo lang. Either click this or press F5 on your keyboard. So, magra-run siya, run. Tapos, ang sabi niya dito, close and reopen Tabular Editor. So, let me do that. Close. And then, let me reopen here, Tabular Editor 2. So, babalik ako. Pagkabalik ko, nalimutan ko na actually kasi hindi ko na ginagawa ito ng matagal. And ano to? So, I don't need to to go through this. Ito lang yung parang alternate alternate way to get your best practices. So supposedly, after kong gawin yun, after kong relaunch si Tabular Editor, meron na ako mga best practices loaded here. Sa tools yata yon, manage, BPA rules. And then if I go to rules for the local user, tada! Expand. Ayan. Medyo maliit lang, no? Pero I hope nagagalingan kayo kay Tabular Editor. So ito na siya, DAX expressions. Andito yung mga avoid using the if error function. Siyempre, if kailangan mo, then kailangan mo. Pero andito yung mga if possible na iwasan mo. All the way to formatting, add a data category. Ito yung mga hindi na ginagawa ng normal na tao dito. Ang alam ko, meron ditong rule na parang add descriptions per column, which is not everybody does that. Pero it's nice to know, especially if medyo nasa mid-level Power BI developer ka na, hindi ka na newbie, and kumbaga, nasa stage ka na medyo you can work your way around Power BI na and you're looking for ano nga ba yung mga best practices. This is a really nice exercise to do that. So, ang daming rules. And you might be thinking, ano po yung pinag-iba nitong Tabular Editor sa pagbabasa ko na lang sa blog post niya? The difference is you can actually run all of these rules on your data model. So, nakaload pa rin tayo sa pizza data source ko. All I need to do now is go to tools again and press, teka, tama ba? Ayan, tama. Buti na lang tama. So, sorry, cancel ako doon. Tools, Best Practice Analyzer, or F10. So, once I click on that, real-time to. It's telling me lahat na mga nakita niyang nag-violate ng best practices sa data ko. So, performance, do not use floating data points. Floating data points ito yata yung tama ba? Yung maraming decimal places. Unlimited decimals, diba? So, si price ko daw, tsaka si sales, naka-unli. So, medyo mas mabigat kasi sa data yung ganon, sa data size mo. So, hinighlight rin niya na, basta yun, lahat. Ito pala, use the divide function. Again, yung favorite tip ko na parang napakadali kasing i-explain yan. Huwag kayong mag-forward slash, mag-divide kayo. Sasabi niya, order time bins and bins 2, naka-forward slash ako instead of using the divide function. So, puntahan natin yun. Orders, time bins. Right-click pa ba to? Right-click ba to? Right-click?
Edit groups.
Naka-edit up. Ano pala to? Teka, wala naman Teka, ano nga ba yung error ko doon? Tama ba? Use the divide function. Pero wala naman akong divide. So, siguro na-detect niya yung system groups lang to Wala naman akong dito Teka, let me go to Tabular Editor. Let me open it there. Tables, orders, bins. So yun, system generated nga. So, hindi ko nagagalawin yan. Pero yeah. So, sa Power BI desktop mismo, hindi niya nakikita na yung formula sa loob kasi automatically system-generated groups yan ng Power BI na gumawa lang ako ng bins. Pero sa behind the scenes, yon slash yung ginagamit ni Power BI instead na divide function nga. So, yun, yung mga ganon, nade-detect pa rin. And, syempre, lahat yan optional. Teka, if I right-click, okay, so yun, I can go to object. And ayun na pala, nagpakahirap pa ako kanina. Go to object lang pala yung kailangan kong gawin. Pero yun, kumbaga it shows you all of your possible improvements in your, not naman all, pero a lot of possible improvements in your data model or in your report itself. Not only that, for some of them, depende sa sa best practice Pero there will be some best practices na you can generate a fixed script. So, do not summarize numeric columns, kunwari. So, numeric columns, you can click generate fixed script copied to clipboard, click OK, alt tab ako kay Tabular Editor, balik ako kay Advanced Scripting, Control V ko siya dyan, and yung script na yan na yung magko-correct dun sa best practice na yon. So of course be very careful with that, pero what it will do is it will allow you to stop summarizing numeric columns. Ganun yung gagawin natong script na to. And marami pang iba. Hindi ko na pagdadaanan lahat, pero I just wanted to put that out there. I guess for more for mid-tier developers na get acquainted with your external tools. Kasi may chance na may mga tasks kayo na ginagawa na mapapabilis if you use external tools such as Tabular Editor, DAX Studio, ALM Toolkit, yung mga minention ni Dane kanina, C Bravo, medyo newcomer pero really popular external tool now for Power BI. And yun, check it out. So, quickly checking if there are questions and wala naman na yata. Checking Facebook Live din. May question pala sa Facebook Live. PBI Dev, hi, question, how do you guys handle version control in Power BI? Also, how do you guys collaborate when working on a single file or report? Very good question. Kasi problem ko pa rin yan hanggang ngayon collaboration. So, meron na tayong mga di ba? May September 2023 update ng Power BI. They made improvements with the developer mode. Ang developer mode is essentially yung GitHub integration ni Power BI. So, supposedly helps you with with collaborating, pero hindi pa rin kasi siya ganda ng collaboration ni Excel sa SharePoint na literal naka-open yung same Excel file, nasa tab 1 siya, nasa tab 2 ako, si Dane nasa tab 3, tapos sabay-sabay kami nag-edit and it's all perfectly fine. Kay Power BI, I believe may handoff pa rin di ba? O kumbaga, nagko-collaborate kayo in the sense lang na you're working on the same report, pero parang wrestling siya na may tag pa rin. Tag, ikaw naman mag-edit. Tag, ikaw naman mag-edit. Pero Dane.
Sa akin, ako gumagawa lahat. So, there's no one to collaborate with.
Collaborate with yourself. So, so sa akin, yun, may mga nangyayari sa ngayon. Or maybe hindi ko pa gamay yung GitHub and Power BI collab, kumaga. Pero sa ngayon, ang nangyayari sa amin is check-in, check-out, constant communication na, kumbaga, merong Power BI, PBIX file, let's say, sa OneDrive. Tapos, we share, I'll work on it, may i-edit ako doon kasi mayroong ganitong request to add a certain something to a certain page. I'm done, upload ko na siya doon, tapos publish ko na. Then, at some point, o kaya minsan may mga request na medyo malaki, magaling ako dito sa aesthetics na to. Ako yung bahala sa mga buttons na yan. Sige. Pero yung DAX, tinatamad ako. Ayokong mag-isip. Yung DAX, ikaw muna bahala. Ikaw muna gumawa, Dane. So, si Dane titira ng DAX. Tapos, mag-message lang sa akin na, tapos na ako, naka-publish na rin. Naka-upload na rin. Ikaw naman. Sige. Ako naman gagawa ng mga buttons for interaction. So, ganun yung collab ko ngayon with my teammates. Pero nothing else na mas elegant pa kesa doon, unfortunately. Pero yun, kumaga, I hope, and I have a feeling that it might change soon, especially yun nga, PBI developer mode is kind of a thing right now, so you might want to read up on that. Medyo ako doon kasi, medyo weak ako doon kasi hindi ako gumagamit ng GitHub dati except to download free source, open source programs.
O data.
Ganun lang, or data. Pero hindi ako gumagamit mismo ng GitHub. So yung mga branch, trunk, hindi pa ako ganun ka-acquainted. Pero yun, do it as I do, which is the primitive, non-elegant way, or read up on the developer mode and Power BI GitHub. Yun lang yung i-search mo. Marami nang lalabas. And make sure na recent kasi there has been updates for the September 2023 version. Ayun lang. Any questions from anyone else? Going once, going twice. Ayan. Maraming salamat for spending 90 minutes of your Saturday with us. And yeah, hindi ko in-expect na tatagal tayo ng ganito, pero here we are. So again, thank you for accompanying us. Sorry, si JV, may last question pa habol. May way ba na malaman aling measures ang di nagagamit? Meron, actually. Gagamit ka ng Measure Killer. It's an external tool. So search up Measure Killer and you can kill your measures. And tables, ang alam ko, pati tables tinitignan na niya na hindi mo nagagamit. No prob, JV. Pero yun, Measure Killer ang solusyon. Try natin yun. Hindi ko siya na-install pa eh. Yan, ito lang yun. Bruner BI. So, have fun. And I'm sure meron pang mga may mahanap kang resources. Pero yun. That is it. So guys, again, thank you very much. Balik ako sa aking Canva slides. Kasi parang, ang alam ko may last slide ako dun eh. At nahihirapan ako tignan kasi naka-screen share ako. Nasaan yung Canva ko? Ayun. Meron nga. So again, yeah, happy creating mga Power BI wrists natin. And finally, connect with us. Taplink.cc/PowerBI Pilipinas. You can scan the QR code. Updated naman yata. Ang alam ko, updated naman yan. I do try my best to keep all of those links updated. What you'll see is Linktree namin, pretty much. Pero I use Taplink. Kasi may animations kay Taplink eh. And may animations for free at that. And feel free to join us in any of our social media platforms. Follow us, subscribe, whatever. We really appreciate it. And yeah, join the Facebook group if you haven't. Like the page if you haven't. For now, this has been Tony. Dane, thank you very much for accompanying me pretty much the entire episode. Ang usapan namin ni Dane, magpe-present lang siya. Hindi ko na siya binitawan. So maraming salamat, Dane, for staying on and answering all of the questions. Again, thank you very much. This was Power BI Pilipinas Dakan, Episode 1. Happy Saturday!